This is Umar for BoxNation. I'm joined by Frank Warren after another magnificent seven card last night in Birmingham. A fantastic show, even though sort of the two main fights on that card, if you like, were altered because of injury and obviously pneumonia to Liam Davis. Frank, you weren't in attendance in Birmingham, so you all okay? You all good?
Yeah, I had another op on my back on procedure on Wednesday, so I couldn't travel. I was hoping to get there, but I'll be all right for next week or for this week coming up with Joe's fight and Derek. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, but I watched it on TV. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was a really exciting show, real competitive fights, and showed what great talent we've got in this country.
Yeah, definitely. It's fantastic from start to finish. But the one that really springs out and potentially a fight of the year contender was Echo Esserman and Owen Cooper, Frank.
Oh, I'll tell you what I've got to tell you, Harry got over that shot, that right hander he got, Echo. I have no idea. I mean, what a turnaround in in the space of what, a minute or 2 minutes. It was just unbelievable, so exciting, and credit to both of them. Absolute credit to both of them, and that certainly is without a doubt a candidate, if not fight of the year. Just so exciting.
Speaking to Echo at the hotel last night after the fight, and him and his team are looking now really at world level guys and trying to get up the rankings in the world ladder, Frank. Is that the aim?
Well, he's had 21 fights now, and he's only lost one. And that was an extremely good performance. I mean, and he's up there, and we'll deliver for him. I mean, he said himself last night the different belts that he's won and so forth. I mean, we've kept him in, kept moving him up, and now he's moved himself up into that, yet another level. And it won't be over for Owen either. I mean, I like Owen. I think he come to fight. He showed what he was about as well. And as I've said before, a loss isn't the end of the world.
Yeah, definitely. And Owen's still, compared to Echo, relatively inexperienced in the professional game.
He's had half as many fights. Yeah,
exactly. And after that ninth round, everyone was saying in the arena, Echo's done. Owen's got him here.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know how I really don't. I mean, that was a big punch. And he went back to corner. And what I noticed in the corner, they were talking. He started then going, yeah, yeah. And he was like talking to himself and firing himself out. And he come out and just took control of it. I mean, that was and let his shots go. I mean, when you're throwing shots like that, referee's got no choice but to step in. They weren't getting answered.
Another fight that delivered was obviously the main event, first time out. Again, that was a fight of the year contender.
Fight of the year contender, yeah.
Yeah.
And so was this one. I mean, the first 3 rounds, Nathan was working behind his jab. He was very, say comfortable, but he was doing what he does well. He's using all his physical attributes in his height and his jab. And then Brad in the 4th round, well, you see what happened in the 4th round. He Nathan was doing hotels, so he got clipped. And then it started evening up a bit. But I think then he came back into it a bit. I'm not sure it was the 8th or 9th round. And he caught him with some body shots, and I thought he was hurting Brad with those body shots, and he never done them. He never threw any more in any rounds after. And then Brad done what he had to do. He went out there and done a job. And I don't want to take anything away from him. I know some things have been said about his weight, Nathan. He's a big guy and so forth, but nothing away from Brad. He was in the other guy's backyard. All the support there, other than Brad's group that come up, his faithful group that come up and cheered him from Cornwall. It was nearly everyone in the place was all about Nathan, and so I've got to take my hat off to him. And for Nathan, it's not the end of the world. He's got a choice. If he may want to go up a weight. Whatever he wants to do, he's with us, and we're with him. And it's the same with Brad. They're going to go into bigger and better fights. That's what will happen with the both of them. Frank, they're exciting fighters.
And I'm just trying to picture this middleweight division. Obviously, you announced your fight with Denzel Bentley and Derek Gazazi for August 17th at your call. Should Denzel come through that, who had a fantastic win against Danny Digdam out last time, could you either do the rematch with Nathan or even do the fight with Brad with Denzel?
There's so many options, and they're good for the guys because they can go and earn some money. There's so many options, and they're good fights. They're good competitive fights. And, whoever comes through at the end of the day is going to fight for a world title because we'll deliver for them. We will deliver a world title for them.
And Frank, Brad Pauls is now with yourself, with Queensberry?
Sorry?
Is Brad Pauls now
Brad,
with
yeah,
yourself?
yeah, he's with us. Yeah, yeah, he's with us. And you know, when we made the match, we done it as you know, like the deal with him was that we took options, which we do with everybody. That's how we made how he got the rematch in the first place with Nathan. He's, you know, to sign up for it, but. You know, we will deliver for him. We work hard for our guys. You know, we don't, and we're not fair weather promoters with them. You know, if the people show us their commitment, they get our commitment.
Did you think ultimately, though, watching the fight as it was going gradually, that Brad, who did get the stoppage in the end, that would be the result?
No, I thought Nathan was in front on the cards. I mean, I think a couple of judges. I'm not sure the judges had him in front, so I understand.
I'm not sure. From watching it at the arena, it looked like Brad was in the lead. So I don't know how it
I think the judges had it the other way around. So was said in the commentary. That's what I'm sure was said. But irrespective of that, you know, it was a close fight again. It was a close fight. I thought Nathan won the last one, and you know, Brad. It was an emphatic win for Brad because you know there was no debate about it. He stopped him, and that was it. So you know they may want a rematch again. I mean, you'd watch that again all day long. I mean, it's such a good fight for him. Sorry, the two of them. It's such a good fight, and now in a third fight. You know, maybe that, who knows? But there's lots of options. All I know is these two guys, we're behind them, and we'll make sure that they get, you know, if whatever they want to do, we'll make sure it happens for them and show the commitment, as I said to them, because they're really nice guys. They're both really super guys. Great advert for the sport. You know, on TV afterwards, you see them both in the dressing room together, talking. You know, that's what it's all about. It's just, you know, mutual respect. You know, of course, before fights, things get said, and we've seen that a million times. But you know, afterwards, to go through what they go through, boxers. I mean, what sportsmen do that? You know, they can knock 10 bells out of each other, and at the end of it all, they got that such respect for each other, the majority of them, and that's lovely to see. That's what it's all about. That's what the sport's about.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say the most devastating performance of the night came from Andrew Kane.
Oh God, I tell you what. You know, I'm going to take my hat off to Ashley Lane. I mean, you know, you think of what he's come through in his life, and he's had, you know, it's a bit of a story, and lovely fella. It was great that he won a title, you know, albeit he went in there as the opponent rather than the guy that won it. But you know, he grabbed it with both hands, and he come to fight. And Andrew, you know, what was that? That was his 13th fight. Calm, cool, collected, picked his shots. You know, Paul does such a good job with them. He's such a good trainer, Paul. I like you know, these guys, the way he works with them, and he's a dangerous fighter, Andrew. There's no doubt about it. And he throws real meaningful punches. The shots he throws are hurtful, and he places them so well. He caught Ashley with a really good body shot during that fight. I'm not sure what round it is. It might have been 3 or 4, whatever it was. But it was caught him just under, caught him in the rib, and that sort of was the sort of start of the decline for Ashley. But you know, fabulous. You know, fight while it lasted. It was a good fight and a brilliant performance by Andrew. You know, the old Everton Triangle are doing a great job up there. Some really good fighters there, and you know, we've been working with them for a while now, and it's a pleasure to work with them because the commitment you get is just brilliant. That's what they're all about, is commitment.
Not sure how it came across on TV with Chantel Cameron, but one of the scorecards seemed ridiculous, Frank.
Well, he should. I don't know where these guys come from. I mean, it was a very competitive fight, but she won every round. I'm not taking anything away from what's that, Elham. I can't take nothing away from her. You know, and I'm not been the biggest supporter of women's boxing over the years. The last couple of years, yeah, and it was a bloody good fight. I mean, it was fought at a real pace, and I was talking about the punch stats afterwards. I mean, lots of punches were thrown, but you forget they're 2-minute rounds, and they're still throwing lots of punches. They're not 3-minute rounds. Phenomenal work rate from both of them. And Chantel, I'm so delighted she's on board with us. You know, as you know, I suppose as you know, she's also won that interim title, so she's got the winner of that next fight. Whatever happens, it'll be ordered by the WBC. So she's got herself in a brilliant place, and we're delighted she's on board with us. She's a breath of fresh air. her and Raven, and and our young lady from Northern Ireland. I mean, it's they've been a revelation for me in boxing.
Yeah, just to go back to the scorecards, because it seems to happen near enough on every show where we get one or two scorecards which just don't make sense at all.
Well, there's easy ways to deal with it. You just drop the judges out. If it's blatant as it is blatant like that, I mean, how could anybody get that a draw? You're not competent enough. And if that's where you are, if you're a football referee, I've said it a million times, they get downgraded. Downgrade them. Don't let them do these fights. You go back to the equivalent wherever you come from. I don't know, Southern Area title or 8-rounders, and you've got to come back and prove yourself. You can't just be, because it suits politically for a governing body, oh, let's put somebody in from, I can't remember where the guy come from, put somebody in from, I don't know, whatever country it is, just to keep everybody happy. That's bullshit. What you should be doing is putting the best in. And if they make a mess of it, then you're downgraded and you've got to come back and earn your stripes again, not just be doing it again next week. And there's a few of them are doing it now. It's just ridiculous. And for me, it really takes a lot of the, I mean, after the fight, unfortunately, a corner, and I get where they come from. They're talking about the judge. It shouldn't be about the judge. It should have been about the victory. It should have been about Chantel, how well she done, how well Elham did. How brilliantly, what a brilliant fight it was. Not some controversy over some judge who needs to get down to Specsavers.
Yeah, a much improved Sol Dacus from the first fight with Michael Webster, got the stoppage in the end. Impressed with Sol?
Yeah, I was. I mean, early on in the fight, he took his time to get into it, but then again, he had a change of opponent. And I know sometimes that's a bit of a thing. You've got to remember as well, he's only had 8. That was his 9th fight as a pro. But he done what he had to do. And it's a good finish. He put his shots together well, and I'm looking forward to seeing him and David Adelaide get the postponed fight, which they will do in the autumn.
Is that definitely going to happen, Frank?
Yeah, it's going to happen. Yeah, they signed up for it. It's going to happen.
Okay, fantastic.
It's an injury clause. He got injured. It's going to happen. Yeah, it's got to happen. We want to find out who's the best. At that level, I want to find out who's the best and who's the best to go on. And whoever loses, they got a chance to come back again, as we've seen with with lots of these fights. They got a chance to come back and do it again.
Yeah. I think he'd admit himself, Frank, Ezra did in the change room last night. Pretty flat, not his best performance.
Yeah, but I get that and I understand it. And as I said, change your opponent, and the fight before that, I think he had when the opponent come in. I mean, it was a last-minute fight for him. It is what it is, but it was a good, excellent finish. He stayed at his task. He he bit down on his gum shield, gritted his teeth, and done the job at the end. And that's what you do. That's what it's about, especially with heavyweights.
No, Frank, I'm talking. Sorry. I said I moved on. I said Ezra Taylor, not Sol.
Oh, sorry, Ezra. Oh, Ezra. I do apologise. Sorry, I'm getting
right.
that. It's a bit of the old senior moment, my old son. Ezra. Now, look, Ezra. That was great. He got those rounds under his belt. Again, that was his 9th fight, and he's got a lot of good moves. And he turned pro late. What's he now? 29. So he's turned pro late in his career. Fella he was in had a really good win last time out, a very good win. Went over and done what he had to do. That was a really good win for him, and it was rounds under his belt, and that's what he needs. Fighters need that sometimes. They need to get the experience, when they don't knock somebody out. And I'll tell you what, they never picked up on the commentary so much. He was throwing some beautiful uppercuts. He puts his shots together well. He will get better and better. And a fight I'd love to see him in with Whitaker, with Ben Whitaker. I'd do that fight now.
Will that realistically happen though with Ben Whitaker?
Well, with us it would. I'd do it. I'd do it now.
Okay. Do you think Boxer will go ahead with that though?
Ask them when you do an interview with them.
We shall do. Who else? Oh, Zach Parker, stoppage win for himself.
Well, he needed, didn't he? He thought he's getting married. I think it's next month, and it was his stag do. He missed his own stag do to fight, but we had to. He was lucky, he got out, and he's the first one to stop Jack, isn't he?
Yeah.
So that was a good win. Boxed well the first few rounds, got his jab going, and then turned it on. And that's what he needed. And he's settled in that light heavyweight division. So he's in a very good competitive division. There's some good fights there to be made. And he'll be there. He'll be involved in those now. Go and get married, enjoy enjoy your honeymoon, everything that goes with it, Zach. And then when you get back, my old son, you're in. You're going to be out again before the end of the year.
Last one to finish off on last night. Shabazz Masood got himself the win. Him and Liam Davis went off at ringside. Just makes the fight bigger for later this year, Frank.
It does. And I'll tell you what, it was a good finish, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that fight. I think that fight is going to be a burster. I really do. You know, we worked very hard from like very small beginnings up in the Midlands, building this scene up there. And this Magnificent Seven works as a concept. It has worked all the way through. Fighters have come through and done some really, gone on to do some good things. And I just feel now, now we're in the Resorts Arena in Birmingham. It's a big arena, and that's what promotion's about. It's, it's like a little acorn, you plant it in the ground, and then comes the tree. And these fighters are taking advantage of it now. And that fight, it will be the top of the bill. Probably the next one. Him and Shabazz. That's such a cracking fight with him. And obviously Nathan will decide what Nathan's going to do, and all the rest of the guys and gals from the Midlands area. I mean, it's just it's so lively now. There's so many good things happening, and I'm delighted the way it's going. It's just a success story.
Okay. Well, that's last night done. Right. No one spoke to you, Frank, since 258 Anthony Joshua's management company on the 16th of July put out evening at Queensberry. Any update on why Daniel Dubois isn't signed up for VADA drug testing yet?
Well, he is, and he was, and that's it. It's just a nonsense. I don't even know why that come about, and it wasn't the way to do it anyway. There's no, to just sort of put things out like that. I just, weren't very happy with that, but it's done, dusted. No need for it. From the time we were informed by the VADA, I remember he was coming off of VADA testing as well for his previous fight. When they notified us, I think it was within less than 2 days. I think it's roughly 40 hours. It was done, and I've seen the exchange of texts between him and Andy, who deals all that in my office. And there was just no need to do that. But look, that's they did. Not going to make a big thing of it. All I care about just they're being tested, not just by VADA, also by UCAD. And Daniel's always passed everything he's done at all times.
So, Frank, just for the viewers, can you explain how the process with VADA works?
You sign up for it in your agreement. If you're in some organisations like the WBC, if you want to be ranked by the WBC in their top 15 or 20, whatever it is, you have to be regularly VADA tested, as was Conor Benn. That's the only way you get rated. If you've got some type title fights, mostly these days, well, probably nearly all big title fights, you sign up for VADA, and they come and do their random testing, and that's what happened. And it was agreed. And remember, this fight's not next week. This fight's in September.
Yeah.
So he signed up in time for it, and soon as they were notified, as anybody else who's got a title fight on them, it's the same. And in the meantime, they still come under UCAD, and they still get tested by UCAD.
So if you could just give a timeline of events, they've put that out on the 16th of July. So why have they done that if everything was in line?
Do you know what, Umar? Who gives a shit? They've done it. I don't know why. Ask them. It's just fucking stupid. They did it. We move on. He signed up. It's not even. It's not an issue. It's just that should not have been. That was not appropriate to put that out. That was not the way to conduct a situation where we've all been working hard together. But you know what? Sometimes things happen. Sometimes people do things for whatever, I don't know what motives they got, but who gives, at the end, I don't give a shit. He signed up, he's clean, he works hard, he's been, how many he's had what? How many world title fights and interim title fights? Daniel?
Usyk, Trevor Bryan, Hrgovic.
Yeah. 3. And he's been on the program. So let's, it's stupid. It's just ridiculous. He doesn't need PEDs for those bombs, those rocket launchers. When they start flying, you're going to wish you've been taking PEDs to strengthen you up against them.
So just to close this one off, both Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois can confirm are enrolled to VADA testing for this fight.
They are, and that's been confirmed by VADA. It's got to be over a week ago now, however long it is. What's the date? Whatever the date is, day 21st. Yeah, well, I think it's at least a week now. Yeah.
Okay. Right, there was a report that came out last night, Frank, from the Times about Queensberry, your promotional company, doing a deal with DAZN, and that your contract with TNT expires next year. So can you make comment on this, please?
I have a contract, Queensberry have a contract with TNT, which will be honoured, which we enjoy, and a company we enjoy working with. And as you see last night, and have been very supportive to us, as we've been supportive to them, and we're happy. And that's all I can say on the matter.
Okay, so where on earth has this come from, this report?
Come out the newspaper. I got no, it didn't come from us, but it's out there. Or what that I heard about it. So that was it. I've had a few calls about it, but I've not spoken to anybody about it because I don't want to. I've got no need to speak to anybody about it. We, Queensberry have an existing contract.
Okay. Next week, just to close this interview off, we move on to Joe Joyce and Joyce-Chisora, which actually is built up really nicely since Queensberry put out that locked in face-off. Have you watched it yet?
Yeah, it's good.
Derek's selling the fight well.
Yeah, it does. Don't you point your finger at me, I'm telling you. No, it's good, and that's what it's all about. I think it really is well typed, for them. Redemption. One of them is definitely going to win, and one of them's going to lose. It ain't going to be no draw. One, because it's not going to go to distance. One's going to be standing there, and one's not. And the one who's not, I don't know where he goes. I think he's got at the age that they're at, I think they'll have a real tough journey back. So they know what's at stake. I'm the one who said a couple of years ago that Derek should retire. And he took issue with me, and he wants to prove me wrong. So that gives him a bit more inspiration. We'll see. But it is what it is. The fight's on. It's a fight that we tried to make a few years ago without success, but we got it together now. And I think in some ways the fight will be more keenly fought because there's more at stake now because of their age and where they are in their careers. Absolutely. They both got to make a statement. They both need to make a statement. And the undercard is fabulous. Great fights on the undercard. It's like last night, a really, really great boxing undercard. I mean, the shows that that we're putting together and other people at the moment, but the shows certainly we're putting together are top notch, good quality, good matchmaking, great fights. And our youngsters are still coming through. We've got a wealth of talent. I mean, I've got to be honest, in all my time in boxing, which is 102 years now, we've never had such a great group of young fighters, so many young fighters. And I can remember a time when we had all on the roster at one time, Frank Bruno, Ricky Hatton, Eubanks, Nigel Benn, Steve Collins, Naz. I mean, just loads and Joe Calzaghe, all of those, all at one time. These youngsters can emulate that now, the way they're coming through and the way they're performing. Some of those kids last night, they're going places.
Brilliant. Well, look, I'll see you next week for Joyce-Chisora, which is a big O2 fight week. And appreciate your time, Frank.
Not at all, mate. You have a lovely day. You okay, though?
All good, yeah. Fantastic show last night. I'm going to leave Birmingham and get back to London for a big
you're still there?
I'm still here. Stay to do this
interview. On the road early like us. All right, my old son. Safe journey home.
Cheers, Frank. Take care.
God bless. Bye, son.